right, welcome back. We're in game number one. I should probably turn the sounds on, that would help. We're in game number one here in this best of three. It's the first match of the day, and this will simply decide who goes to the winner's match and who falls to the losers. So nobody's life is on the line quite yet. Deceptively, though, actually en route gaming, but representing EPS, it's going to be the yellow Zerg player, Petraeus.
In the bottom right, as the red Protoss, it's Millennium's Lilbow.
Okay, so Lilbow, first off, I forgot he joined Millennium recently. That's pretty awesome. There's the whole XMG thing, and I've always known him to be XMG Lilbow, but good to see him found another team and was able to stay with his, I guess, French roots. But this guy played, if you guys don't remember, in a tournament we had not too long ago, Who's the Best European. He played against Mana in the grand finals. He made it all the way to those finals, and I think overall he is one of the better foreign Protoss players. The best is a big question mark, but definitely one of the better ones.
Yeah, I definitely say so. Millennium, very strong team, I would say. I have, I guess, Daishi, one of those other, like, really strong foreigner Terrans. Different race, but kind of in the same boat. But Lilbow, yeah, it was very impressive in the European Cup. Crap.
Yeah, it's not the EU, it is the Who's the Best European.
Yeah, the best European, right. That over-essentialized title, am I right?
Oh my god, guys, he's not really the best European. You can't call it that.
I love that imitation. But yeah, I'm very interested to see how he's going to do today. It's Petraeus, Lilbow, Bly, and...
Targa.
Targa, right. So, oh, that's right, nothing but Zerg. So, okay, you kept bringing up, like, when we were, like, rounding out the qualifiers, you were like, man, I feel, like, bad for, you know, Lilbow, or I feel bad for Polt. And I was like, really? They only practiced one matchup. That's so nice.
Yeah, that's actually, I didn't really consider that when we were talking about things, but you better hope that it's not their worst matchup, right? Hope that he's not the mindset of, like, my ZVP is horrible.
Yeah, that's one thing.
But yeah, so Petraeus, though, not to knock this guy down, give him a bit of an intro in this series, into this tournament. We've seen him several times before. He's got to be one of the best up-and-coming Zerg players, bar none. And this is him living in Europe. This is not a cross-server match like it was in the previous days. He's not in North America anymore. He's living at the My Insanity house. So it's kind of interesting that we finally get to see these two fight one another on what is the most even footing possible. Because if we're going to be honest, I think sometimes we see these LAN events and online seems to be a little bit more stable. You know what I'm saying?
Guess so. Well, Lilbow goes ahead and scouts that it is a gas taken for Petraeus. You know, of course, that just means that he maybe doesn't poke out with the Stalker, or if he does, he's extra careful about it. Speed is going to be on the way, most likely. I mean, do you have some weird Zerg players that go for, like, a really fast lair, but Petraeus not that build anyways.
Actually, I just realized, as you say Blink Stalkers, first off, I forgot that's kind of where the meta of the game is at right now. But secondly, paired up with the fact that this is Catalina, I mean, if he does go for some sort of Blink Stalker attack, between Sentries and Warp Prisms on the ramp and Blink Stalkers just in general, this is a really scary map for Petraeus to play on, at least defensively speaking.
Oh, I mentioned the Stalker. I was like, I mentioned Blink Stalkers? God, how tired am I?
It was like yesterday, you're like, I don't know if we've talked about the Roach Warren. I'm like, you brought up the Roach Warren!
Okay, when you get it at like 4 minutes, I'm gonna forget when it's 14 minutes, okay?
I'm just teasing. But these two links should get a decent scout to see what Lilbow has. And I mean, 2 gateways at the front, 1 in the main, 3 gateways is nothing shy of just standard, even if you're going for a robo, even if you're going for a Stargate. So I think one of the biggest things he could have possibly scouted was whether that second gas was going full bore or not, and he will see that with the Overlord in a moment's time. So knowing that this isn't some sort of weird 1 gas build.
Yeah, I think the gateways would be listed a little too late for that anyways, but I think I just really wanted to see if there's a 4th gateway hidden in the back, which he didn't quite get to see, but...
Well, I think one of the things, too, is, like, as I bring up what you want to scout here, sometimes it's exactly to look what you're expecting to see. You know, 4 gates, 3 gates, 8 gates. But it's actually a lot scarier when you don't see what you expect. Like, if that second gas wasn't taken, that's when you get really scared as a Zerg player. Petraeus is coming across the map with a couple links to pressure at the front, but kind of an interesting place for this 4th gateway to go. Again, kind of that almost hidden in plain sight mentality.
Yeah, does that Ling see it when
it
I
does, yeah.
jumped up there? Okay, yeah. I guess he didn't see exactly what it was, like if it was a robo or not, so he goes in and checks with the Overlord.
Good move too.
Oh, you're gonna die now, though.
Yeah, rip. or maybe, okay, as I say, maybe not. Sentry DPS is pretty bad, but you know, Petraeus already started his third base. He wasn't gonna stick on 2 bases for too long. I do like that he starts the Roach Worm pretty quickly. You can, in extreme circumstances, with Lings and Zerglings, with Zerglings and Queens, rather, hold off 4-gate aggression on 2 bases. But I mean, that's again extreme situations.
Who played against, like, besides Scarlet, and then who was it that played against Son that we got to scout? Or scout, just cast.
Well, I mean, technically, I guess for scouting, we see everything.
Yeah, I guess so. Anyways, yeah, like the 4-gate response, actually perfect response, seemed to be actually Lings and Queens. I mean, you can get Roaches because they're just, you know, plain old easier to do, but like Mass Queens actually shuts it down, and you can be really greedy behind it. But that's not Petraeus' style. I forget who it was. I want to say like it was Kane or some North American, but anyways, he's got Roaches, okay, and that's really what all you need. That and like maybe not taking the worst force field engagement ever.
I wouldn't say that's all you need, but it's definitely the tools that you need, because sometimes force fields can just be so sick. This push doesn't have a pylon with it, which is why it's so limited on what it's going to do. Yeah, he's just going to recall right away. Not a bad choice. Keep these sentries alive is a pretty big deal, because it's a huge world of difference to come to that mid game with like 7 sentries versus 13, 9 versus 6, you know. But as Petraeus comes across the map of the Lings, there's not really any opportunity for damage here. With this many sentries and again a lot of force fields coupled with them, while they don't have the best damage in the world, they're only going to be fighting 1 unit at a time.
Yeah. Petraeus, I mean, he deflected that so nicely. Lilbow would have liked to added some pressure along with expanding. You know, pressure and expand. It's a pretty good strat in StarCraft too. But as long as he kept all those sentries alive, then he was okay. It's just the Catalina. Like, you're perfectly fine if they attack you at the third. That's a lot of force out opportunities. But if they attack you in between your third and your natural, you have to actually have pretty tough decisions. Lilbow did bother to get a cannon here, but 1 cannon's not quite enough. He does warp in just before they all jump in there. Oh, almost just before they jump in there. Oh, they actually get in there.
Well, as he managed to squeak past that ramp, but I'm sorry guys, I was trying to fix something with my mouse there real quick. We do have the Roaches getting to the main. There's a couple of Lings, but this is still not that much. Probes are going to die, absolutely, but Lilbow's got a 3rd base down. He's going to have Chrono Boost to make up this. As long as he doesn't lose upwards of 20 probes, I'd say he's still in a pretty solid spot. I am a little bit surprised he's not pulling these off the mineral line to be ultra safe, but as we see, Petraeus is not really finding the opportunity to hit and run. Oh, that force field, so good.
Just find some time, maybe take down just 1 sentry, yeah. So, like 9 probes for all the, like, yeah, okay, the trade would not be worth it, but Petraeus, you know, he's getting just more Roaches. They're kind of cheap. He's following this up with, like, Tunneling Claws. I'd consider that, like, just, like, the first part of a continued attack. It's coming pretty darn soon. And behind this is getting a 4th as well. Lilbow actually the one pushing out here. He won't have Blink and +2 for this, but again, oh, he won't have a recall either. So this is a little dangerous. Oh, really dangerous. He's an observer.
Yeah, the burrow tactics are going to be a little bit strong. Burrowing Claws, of course, for the Roaches, really just allows them to counter the force fields more so they become a big threat in and of themselves. But while he attacks this 3rd, Lilbow's on the rampage on the other side of the map. Roaches move commanding through that rally into the army. That's 5 free Roaches. Well, never mind. Burrow.
Realizing he can burrow. The probes at the 3rd are just pulled. The Militia Corps, of course, with the army and without any energy anyway, so that 3rd might just go down. This, I don't know. I think, do you think he should just not recall, just run back home once he saw that Burrow was out? There's no way that a counterattack is going to do game-ending damage anyways, because you can't kill the army.
Well, the Burrow does get on top of the sentries. There's almost enough energy for that recall, so it's getting a little bit scary as Lilbow loses a lot of very expensive units. In fact, this is like borderline game ending because the 3rd died at the same time. Petraeus. Yeah. Man, just with the snap of his finger, does 2 amazing moves at the exact same time. And really just cripples Lilbow.
That push out, I guess he did it because he figured he needed time, and if Petraeus was scared but not attacking him, that would have been the time bought, right, for an observer. But I just feel like adding like maybe another cannon and defending at your 3rd or your natural would have been his real only hope with burrowed Tunneling Claws.
That's the thing too, like it was a little bit odd to see him push so far, so extended without like an observer out. Like had he had an observer with that army, maybe it's a little different of a scenario. But with no recall available, with so many sentries dying, Lilbow's in a pretty rough spot. Now, it's +2 weapon upgrades and it's Blink Stalkers. He's not out of the game, and massive amounts of these can counter just about anything given the right circumstances. But having lost so much of his army, I mean, he's at 1/3 of the army supply of Petraeus, for goodness sake. It's not going to get easier from here.
Looks like Lilbow is just going to go for an all-in.
Yeah. That's actually one of the things that does kind of catch me here, though. Like, both attacks, early on when he, like, recalled, and then just now, never had pylon support behind it, never had that War Prism. I'm really curious what encouraged him to, again, just overextend so far.
It's got to be a feeling of desperation. Oh no, I don't have a Robo. Oh well. Hydras are already on the way. A Hive's going to be done. I guess he could get a couple of Vipers. Not quite banking that much money though. So, but I think the Roach Hydra just by itself will deal with it. Maybe you'll wait enough to have +2 and, you know, range for the Hydras. If he really buys that much time, then I don't think Lilbow can do anything. Well, seeing that army, I don't think he can do anything right now anyways.
Yeah, this is, I mean, that's the thing. This is still a really scary army at Lilbow.
Yeah.
With a couple of good force fields, even the Hydralists might not even get involved with the fight. Remember, guys, Roof Spine's not quite done yet, but the force fields are not quite good enough at the start of this fight, and the Roachers already getting that surround. Hydra's moving in from the north side, and Lilbow just completely surrounded. Again, the situation comes where he doesn't quite have enough energy for a recall. I think it was 92 energy when I clicked on the Mothership Core last time as well, so he's going to lose everything here on the front lines. And Petraeus is going to wrap up this first game 1-0.